Hello, welcome to Canvas, the Niger-Delta Roundtable, where I discuss the future of this region blessed with hydrocarbon resources. Every week, we give time to reflecting on topics relevant to the development of the Niger-Delta and her people. This episode is no different. I'm here, and once again, we're focusing on how to take this region to a more promising future. The podcast is sponsored by the operator of the NNPC Renaissance Total Energies Ajib joint venture, Renaissance Africa Energy Company Limited, headquartered in Port Harcourt. Thanks for joining. I'm Adedayo Elushakin. Now, this episode's topic is running a ready-to-wear business. In this episode, we dive into the fascinating world of fashion entrepreneurship. Ready-to-wear, or RTW, is more than just clothing. It's a business model that blends creativity with scalability. Unlike bespoke tailoring, ready-to-wear focuses on producing stylish garments in standardized sizes, making fashion more accessible to a wider audience. But behind the racks of chic dresses and tailored suits lies a complex operation: sourcing fabrics, managing production, building a brand identity, and navigating the ever-changing trends of the fashion industry. In this episode, we'll explore what it really takes to run a ready-to-wear business, from the initial design process to marketing strategies, customer engagement, and the financial realities of scaling. Now, whether you're a budding designer, an aspiring entrepreneur, or simply curious about how your favorite fashion labels operate, this conversation will give you a front row seat to the challenges and opportunities in the RTW space. So let's get right to it and unravel the business of ready-to-wear. And my guest is Akpos Okudu. Akpos Okudu is founder and creative director of the Akpos Okudu brand. For over 17 years, she has been a defining force in Nigerian fashion and one of the pioneers of Port Harcourt's ready-to-wear scene. Her work has graced runways at home and abroad, including multiple showings at African Fashion Week London. And she has earned several industry recognitions, from Designer of the Year 2022 to nominations by the Future Awards and MTN. She also is a passionate mentor who has trained more than 100 young designers. Her signature feminine functional pieces have been worn by icons like Chimamanda Ngozi Adichie, Mercy Johnson, Joke Silva, and Tara Fela Durotoye. Akpos Okudu, hi, welcome to Canvas, the Niger-Delta Roundtable.
Thank you for having me, Dayo. How are you today?
Very well, great to have you here. First, what you're wearing right now, I would guess that it's one of your ready-to-wear designs?
It is.
Great. So let's start by asking you what I suppose might be the most obvious question here. What does ready-to-wear fashion mean exactly?
So, as the phrase goes, ready-to-wear ready-to-wear is a line of business whereby the clothes are produced in various sizes with slight variations, and it's just made available on the racks. So your clients can walk into the studio, buy, and go. Unlike how it used to be years ago, custom order, you put your own fabrics to come and get measured and get it tailored just for you. Ready-to-wear production is mass-produced for instant sale.
So anything I go into a shop and it's on the rack or it's hung up somewhere, and you can simply look at it, like it, maybe try it on if it fits, pay for it. Anything of that nature is ready to wear.
Absolutely, yes.
Okay, now I'm no fashion industry expert or anything close to that. However, you hear expressions such as couture as well.
Yeah.
How is that different from ready to wear?
So the term couture basically means it's high, or I'll say it's specialty sewing, it's custom sewing. So when they say haute couture, that means like high fashion. It's like high custom sewing. So it used to be pretty popular here in Nigeria, right? But I think as the industry has evolved, clients don't always want to come in and get measured and have it made just for them. I feel like we've now grown into wanting like convenience, right? So walk into the store, pick it up, and just go.
So in the past, or maybe even recently as well, I don't know how far back, when you hear expressions such as couture, you're thinking, like you said, high fashion.
Yes.
And you're thinking certain designer names comes to mind.
Yes.
You have a few of them in Lagos. I'm sure we have some in Port Harcourt here.
Yes.
You were into couture as well. We'll get to that, And then when you think of some international brands. But from your explanation just a while ago, it seems like any scenario in which a person takes a fabric to a designer or a tailor and have yourself measured and how the clothes meet for you, seems like any such scenario is couture. Is that correct?
It's not correct.
Aha.
It's not correct.
So what is?
So I would say what you've explained is bespoke tailoring. Bespoke tailoring simply means that I've gone to any random tailor to get measured and make an outfit made for me. Is made to measure. It's bespoke. Haute couture or high fashion basically is specialty sewing. It's specialty sewing. So this is done by highly skilled artisans. Anybody sewing is not haute couture. And I always say that the term is very loosely used now. Years ago, right, you could only be a couture if you were based in Paris, in fact. But I would say that as the world has evolved, I wouldn't give them credit for that anymore, because I would say that all over the world now, you have highly skilled people who are churning out garments. So even if you're not based in Paris, I would say that you're entitled to be called a couture even if you're not based in France. You have very, very skilled tailors in Nigeria, and the quality of work that is being done can pass to be called couture, in my opinion.
So, were you at any point, based on your analysis and definitions now,
Yes.
were you at any point a couture?
For the first 10 years of my business, I was making couture dresses, right? I was attending runway shows, traveling all over the world. But as you get older, you get married, you have kids. That now makes you realize that this business needs a lot of attention. And then I wasn't enjoying that part of it anymore. I liked making clothes. I liked my clothes being worn. I didn't want to always have to be involved in every process of the outfit being made. So that's why I didn't mind the transition from couture to ready to wear.
So I guess that explains the question I was going to ask you next, which is why you did transition. But I feel like it's a bit deeper than that, isn't it? Why you made the transition from couture to ready to wear?
I mean, there's layers to this story, right?
Okay.
So because with the business, you're not always available on ground. And I wanted a business that I could scale, a business that was scalable. I didn't need to be present to be able to sell my clothes. And then from traveling and attending trade shows, attending pop-ups, right? I knew that people always wanted the clothes. And it didn't matter if I was there to measure them or not. People just liked what you were wearing, and they wanted it. They couldn't fly down to get measured for that thing to be made just for them. So what we now did was, okay, so there's something called I think it's called like almost like high fashion ready to wear, right?
Okay.
It's very detailed, it's very well made, but it's not custom. So I would even say generally what we do in Nigeria is detailed, ready to wear. Because I know that we are very, very stylish. We like our clothes being grandiose. So even though it's ready to wear, it's still very special. So while we transitioned from couture to ready to wear, we still made very, very special pieces.
But just to be clear, ready to wear, as stylish or grandiose as it may be in some cases, is not bespoke either.
It's not bespoke.
So now, growing up, help me understand this. So growing up, I know that the trend when I was younger as a child was to buy ready to wear.
Yes.
At the time, they weren't really Nigerian.
Yes.
They were foreign labels.
Yes.
So as a kid, you always wanted to wear a Polo Ralph Lauren. You wanted to wear a Tommy Hilfiger. You wanted to wear a Levi's. You wanted to wear such things because that's what was in vogue. And they were all ready to wear. You walk into a shop, you try it on if it fits. Or sometimes if it's slightly bigger, the better, especially if it was jeans. And then there was a campaign. Let's wear Nigerian-made stuff. And then people were doing a lot of bespoke, take your fabric to a tailor, how they make it for you, Ankara and, jacquard and the rest of it. So are you saying that we've gone full circle back to the ready-to-wear that we're told, no, let's wear Nigerian stuff? So what exactly happened?
Not really.
Okay.
when we were buying ready to wear, I think then it was called like ready made. I want to come and buy a ready made dress or a ready made suit, right? Those were foreign brands, right? I think it was Obasanjo that brought back but basically Obasanjo put a ban on importation of foreign clothes. So Nigerian designers were now forced to actually just make what they were buying anyway. So now you didn't have to go into a store to go and buy jeans. I make jeans in my store, and people can walk into my store and buy jeans. So back then it was foreign made, ready-made clothes, but now it's locally made, ready-made clothes, so to speak. So you're still buying ready-made clothes. It's just not being brought from the US and from Turkey and from China. It's now made in Port Harcourt, Aba, Lagos, Enugu.
Okay, now for Nigerian clothes makers like yourself, when the industry was about bespoke, when it was about taking fabric to a tailor or designer and have yourself measured and have it made for you, you had designers who had a design philosophy, who had a signature,
yes,
and especially for some of the big names. Yes. When you see a design, or okay, this came from this person, yes, and it was the fact actually, yes, you wanted to stand out. Now with you, for example, and,
yes,
and you're ready to make or ready to wear a business, is there a signature? Is there a philosophy behind your designs? Is there a signature, or do you just make stuff and just...
Well, I always say that my brand is a very, very feminine brand, right? I say that it's ladylike, it's feminine, because I feel like that's how I am as a person. So my clothes tend to reflect that. And I feel like even as big as the industry is, certain brands are known for certain things, right? If you think about maybe, for example, my Atafu makes really suits that make you just look powerful or feel powerful. I don't think he doesn't do slouchy things. You won't see him do linen sets because he just looks like his clothes make you look like a man. So I feel like my brand is very, very ladylike brand. It's also very, very... I think over the years too, I've become quite Afrocentric because I try to make African clothes modern and fun. And because because we now cater to a larger market of Western people as well who want to connect with home. They want to wear Nigerian, as in like indigenous fabrics like Adire, but this is me making Adire modern, making Adire fun, still maintain that ladylike undertone that my brand is known for. So I would say feminine and ladylike is feminine, like Afrocentric.
Yeah, but this seems like, when something is mass-produced, there's always an idea that there's a reduction in quality.
I wouldn't even say
because it's mass-produced.
I wouldn't even say we are mass-produced. We haven't reached that level of being mass-produced. The average Nigerian brand makes 100 items. So this single piece, if I make 100, is that mass production? It's not. In Asia, they're making 1 million pieces. That would count for mass production, but I don't think we're on that level yet.
So what term do you use for it, if not mass production?
It's still on that specialty in a way. It's because our numbers aren't that large to be considered mass production. If the industry grows and we have big factories that can actually make the numbers that we actually want, you can call it mass production now. But I don't think we're mass produced yet.
Okay, so how would you describe your system or your routine for making the things that you make now?
So I think it starts with concept. So at the start of the year, right, I know that, so in January, I know what I want to design for Easter. I know what I want to design for the summer, and I know what I want to design for Christmas. So basically, I start with the concept of what I want to do for Easter, for example. Like now, this year, I've said that I've worked with a lot of Adire last year. I don't want to do Adire this year. So this year, I want to go work with solid colors, right? So thinking about solid colors, I say, okay, I want to work with plain fabrics, right? I want to do a lot of linens. I want to do a lot of cotton. I want to do a lot of khaki, cargo, those plain fabrics, right? So I have the fabric idea in my head, right? And I'll start doing the sketches, right? With the sketches, I know, okay, if I was making a plain dress, I want a dress that, even though it's plain, I want it to have a lot of details. So it's lines, cuts, and then I'll go and source my fabrics. So it starts with the concept, it starts with sketches, and then goes into fabric sourcing. With fabric sourcing, we now come and we produce our samples. Each garment, we make one sample first. We try it on. Does this work for every size? Some clothes may look nice on a size 10, but not on a size 18. So we try to grade it to work for a large number of people, and then we start. And then once that sample works, we then begin production, not mass production, but production. So from concept to sourcing to production.
I think one of the appeals of having bespoke made, or as we used to have it then, when someone, we're an all-one-based society. There's always something happening at some point.
Absolutely.
Some worst case scenario, some friends, mothers, cousins, sisters getting married.
Yes.
And then you have to sew ashwabi.
Yes.
But it was nice, I think, because I've never been an ashwabi person. It was nice that you could take a fabric to a tailor, have it made to suit you. And having that uncommon or unusual, unique design was alluring, make people feel good. So you're in the industry, it's your business, and Nigerians gravitating more towards wearing stuff that you can see on somebody else? Or are we still about having something unique to oneself?
So I always say two things can coexist, right? You know that I always say that custom order will never leave Nigeria. It's part of our culture because there's always a need to sew something, right? And then, and believe it or not, big brands like Dior, Gucci, and Prada, they still have custom clients. If I was a celebrity, I had a red carpet event, I would go to Dior and say, I have an event and I want a dress, and Dior would make me a dress. So you see that even in the West, there's still custom tailoring. But then I just feel like as the industry grows, you now have people separating. People that were only into custom cannot say, okay, well, I'm tired of custom. I want to get into ready to wear. So like me, as a designer, I do both. But I would say I do custom 10% and I do ready to wear 90%. Why did I choose that? Because I guess convenience. I feel like way more people want to just walk into a store, pick up a dress and go. There will always be that custom service available because people will always have ashwabi, there's burial. So I would say, basically, two things can coexist. We are still doing custom, but it's just not as large as ready to wear right now. But there's still brands that have stuck to only custom pieces till tomorrow.
So it's about profitability as well.
It is. Scalability.
Okay.
Yes.
So is creativity sacrificed on that altar of profitability, or what you would like to describe as scalability as well? So has creativity been sacrificed?
I wouldn't say creativity is at all. I feel like working in ready-to-wear industry even puts you more on your toes because the customers want more. They want more. They want more. They want more. So you have to be racking your head thinking about what new styles to make. What new thing can I make with adire? What new thing can I make with linen? What new thing? So that actually keeps me on my toes because I want to stay relevant. But then with custom order, it seems like I feel like that is I would call that slow fashion. It comes, okay, what can we do with this fabric? Let's make a sketch. You get the options and then they'll choose one. So I wouldn't say that it is taking away creativity at all. What I would say it's doing is that it's helping us scale our businesses more. I've been the head designer for this brand for 17 years. If I decided I wanted to step down and employ a new person to take over the creative side of the business, the brand is still growing. I just have a new person as the head of design. So are you seeing that I'm building a company this way? I'm building a brand this way. But in custom order, they wanted me as to be able to sketch the dress. And if I'm not available to sketch that dress, they won't come in. They say, I won't come in today. I will come in when you're available. So you want a business that can outlive you. So whether I'm there or not, the clients can still walk in and buy what my head designer has produced because the labels still say Akwasokudu.
Pardon my seeming skepticism, but it still seems like creativity, maybe not sacrificed entirely, but is somewhat been relegated because all you have to do is come up, for example, maybe I'm wrong, correct me, one design, make, like you say a while ago, 100 of it.
Yes.
As against 100 different designs for 100 different clients.
Yes, is that really practical though? 100
clients. I'm just saying, assuming you had 100 clients in before a year.
Yes.
In a year. Or even if there were 50 only. Or 20, whatever the number. So it's against 20 different designs for 20 clients. So you have one design, and then you can make 100 of it.
this can be 10 variations of one design.
Or it could be one design.
Yes, yes.
Or it could be one design
Yes.
made 100 times for 100 different clients. So that tells me, I think, that creativity is somewhat second place now. And what matters is
numbers,
scalability, profitability. Is that correct?
Well, in some ways.
Is that good for the industry or bad?
Is that good for the industry or is that bad? I do feel like it's practical. Let's say it's practical.
Okay.
Because one design per person will always be more expensive because this is made just for you. And I also feel like as a designer in Port Harcourt too, I became frustrated because I feel like the clients aren't really willing to pay for that exclusivity. So you want this just made just for you. Are you really willing to pay for that exclusivity? Most times they're not. So it's actually better to just go and buy it off the rack. Because you say, oh, I have this fabric, I want to stand out, I want to be unique, beat it, do this, blink it, do that. But then when it comes to pricing, then they're telling you, like, can I pay 20,000 for this? But no, what you're saying, what you want costs way more than that.
Okay, now let's go away from creativity for a minute and just talk about the quality of the sewing itself.
Yes.
So if you were making bespoke,
yes.
It may not be not high fashion, not couture, just bespoke. So I have, for example, some wedding coming up, and I bring the Ashwebi to you and say, make something for me.
Yes.
As against, you have one design, you intend to make 50 of it, and then you get tailors. You give them the design and say, this is the fabric, this is the design. Produce. Okay, you don't like the term mass produce. Okay, produce 50 of that. Produce 100 of that.
Yes.
Is the quality the same as bespoke?
I think if you look at what people normally make for ready to wear, it's usually simpler styles. It's simpler styles. So as a result, we can maintain the quality, and then the tailors are able to give us the quality that we want. But with custom clothes, it's usually more detailed. So it's a corset, there's boning, there's lacing up of it, there's beadwork. So that is like specialty. It's like those kinds of clothes are usually one of it. I mean, it's one of one basically. So the attention to detail is more, but it doesn't mean that the quality is more than ready-to-wear garments. So you see, I would say more attention to detail, but not more quality. And I wouldn't say ready-to-wear is less quality.
Is this something, the ready-to-wear business seems from this conversation so far like something almost anyone, that means the word almost, to qualify it, can get into? Or do you need any particular unique skills or talents to get into it?
Oh, I wouldn't say almost anyone can get into it because it looks simple from the outside, right? But it's actually a lot of work. It's hard work because, first of all, seeing a fabric and knowing what to do with it is a skill. Seeing a fabric and knowing that, okay, seeing a style and knowing that this style will work for different body types is a different kind of skill. And then also people management, working with numbers, all of that. I don't think anybody can get into it. It looks simple from the outside, but it's a lot of hard work behind the scenes.
Now, this is also about entrepreneurship at the end of the day. So what if I'm an entrepreneur or an intended entrepreneur, and I've been thinking, okay, I've got some money stashed away for some place, or I've recently come into some money, and I'm thinking, I'd like to start up a business.
Yeah.
Now, I'm not a fashion person. I don't even know how to take a measurement, let alone put a thread into a needle. So, but it still seems like something I could get into. I could just get a creative director, put some tailors together, buy some machines, whatever, and then we start a brand.
Yeah, so the key is to get a creative director because that's who is going to be running the ship. Without that, then it's not going to work. So creative director and then maybe a procurement manager that runs the fabric sourcing, the production manager that runs the factory. That is the biggest work, running the factory and managing the tailors.
But as the entrepreneur in this case, as the person with the resources, do I need any particular skills myself to get into this?
I would say you need business skills because other than making the clothes, there's a lot of marketing and promotion and then all of that. So it's saying that how you will sell bread may not be how you will sell clothes. So being able to know who your audience is, know who your customer is, designing for your customer. Everybody can eat bread. You don't really need to know where they live to eat the bread. Anybody can eat bread. But I say that the first thing in designing clothes is knowing who am I designing for? Who is my client? Where does she live? Where does she vacation? What does she like? So you see that if you have a clear vision of who your client is, you know how to design for her. If I say that, my client is a bank manager, she's a busy woman, and it means that I'm going to design clothes that fits her lifestyle. So it's not. So it seems pretty straightforward, but you see that it's not.
Speaking of where does she live, where does he work, where do they vacation?
Yes.
Once again, when I was younger, I think ready to wear was more about foreign labels. So whether you were a Nigerian or African living in Nigeria or in Africa or overseas, you tended to wear foreign labels.
Yeah.
But even when African fashion was appreciated overseas, it was about bespoke. Maybe it has high fashion, but also bespoke. That's what was appreciated. Now, since you say that
that was then, not recently.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So if you say it's about scalability now, and all of that, is Nigerian or is African or Nigerian ready to wear receiving the same attention overseas, internationally?
Very much so. Very much so. I was telling you earlier that if you're on TikTok, right, and you watch a lot of foreign content, right, you will notice that there's a big trend of young ladies that live in the UK, in the US, coming to Nigeria to shop. And I mean, somebody flies into Nigeria, spends 3 days browsing all the Nigerian brands, shopping and going back. That's somebody who is rich, obviously, right? But then people who can't travel down are all searching for African brands. So you notice that a lot of influencers, right, now, they've basically now joined this bandwagon of saying, I really love African brands. Can you send me your clothes? I really want to get everyone on board with this brand because they've seen the quality of the work. It's unique. You can't find it anywhere else. So yes, the attention is actually now on African brands, very much so.
What do you think is responsible for that shift? I
would say social media. Social media is powerful because I'm in Port Harcourt. I'm sending clothes to Australia. I don't have a store in Australia. I'm in Port Harcourt. I'm sending clothes to South Africa. The only reason these people can see my brand is social media.
No, I get that. What I'm asking is why the interest in Nigerian designs or Nigerian brands, African brands?
Yeah, I would say it's the uniqueness of the clothes. It's the uniqueness of the clothes.
But it's ready to wear unique, really.
Very, very unique. As I told you that there's something called, I think there's something called, I don't remember the right term, right? But it's like high level or high fashion or high level ready to wear. Even though it's called ready to wear, it's not fast fashion. Let me put it that way. So at the end of the year, right, I have a Christmas collection. The people that that shop the most from me are Nigerian women in the US. Maybe people that live in Houston, right? It's warm weather, right? I mean, well, it's not cold. They want clothes that they can wear to church on Christmas Day. They're not going to Macy's to buy those clothes. They're going to buy them in Nigeria. I'm still doing ready to wear. But it's just very well-made clothes. It's very detailed. It's attention-grabbing clothes. And that's what the typical Nigerian likes. I want to walk into a room and all heads will turn. Wow. But it's still ready to wear, Dio.
You mentioned TikTok a while ago, interestingly. I mean, that's an area, like most other social media brands, but especially TikTok, dominated by the younger people, younger age demographic, or Gen Z as they refer to. Are they into Nigerian ready-to-wear?
Very much so. Not just Gen Z, I would say a lot of millennials who are around 30s and 40s, right? A lot of young women who are in their 40s are, people talk about how I don't want to buy clothes just for buying, right? I want standout pieces. I may not be buying a lot, but I want pieces that are very distinct and stand out. You hear people say that I don't want to walk into Zara and buy a dress, and then when I go out, there's 10 other people wearing the same dress. They will say that when I buy African brands, when I walk into a room, I'm the only one wearing that outfit. As I told you that it's not yet mass produced. It's not.
Just a slight aside. Are millennials on TikTok?
We are. I mean, I'm on TikTok.
Okay. It is Canvas, the Niger-Delta rounds. We're brought to you by Renaissance. Running a ready-to-wear business is what we're discussing. My guest is Apostle Kudu. We go for a quick break. We'll return shortly. Please stay with us.
In the heart of our journey, where the sun touches the earth and the wind whispers through the trees, a new chapter unfolds. A chapter where energy illuminates more than just bulbs. It lights up minds. A chapter of unity, a coming together with a common goal to energize futures and illuminating lives. In classrooms, young dreams evolve, inspired by the promise of a brighter tomorrow fueled by available energy. Small businesses flourish, becoming seeds of prosperity. Energy that empowers and is catalyst for growth and change. The future is energy. So, let's light up the path to a sustainable future together. Energy for you, me, and the world at large. Energy for people and planet. We are Renaissance.
Welcome back. Still Canvas, the Niger-Delta round. We're brought to you by Renaissance. I'm Daya. Running a ready-to-wear business is all discussing. Now my guest is Apostle Kudu. Apostle, welcome again.
Thank you, Dayo.
Great. Fashion is constantly evolving. With bespoke, it's easy to have done something yesterday, and then because the trend changes today, you can simply go with the trend because it's not like you have a stock of things you need to move off the shelf anyways. So it seems ready to wear is, from our conversation thus far, what's in vogue at the moment, at least what you're doing, and a host of others, I imagine. How do you deal with ever-evolving changes in the industry? And you mentioned TikTok a while ago. The world of social media is very fickle also. Trends are constantly evolving and changing. So how do you handle that?
Okay, so that's why when you said that you think it's easy, I told you that it's not as easy as it looks, right? Because you have to keep your pulse on the ever-changing trends, right? So I say that we plan ahead, right? We plan way ahead. I told you that I'm already planning for my Easter collection. I'm already planning for my summer collection. And then not every brand is very, very into trends. My business, for my brand, for example, I would say that I try to design classic pieces that you can wear for years. And I think as we get older too, women aren't always into trendy clothes, right? Women want to just look stylish. So you have brands who are core fast fashion brands. They do it quickly, they change, they do it quickly and they change. But I feel like me personally, my brand is it's a classic brand. I make clothes that you can wear in 5 years' time. It will still look modern. It will still look stylish. I make clothes so I keep that in mind when I design. And I told you that as a brand, you have to know who your customer is and then you design with them in mind. In my head, my customer goes to Europe in the summer. I make clothes that I know that she would wear on holiday in the summer. I would always have a white cotton dress in my collections. I will have a fun check dress. I will have a fun print dress. So I design with my clients in mind. I'm not just making clothes because this is what is trendy. There will always be an occasional, okay, this is what is in right now. There will be one or two. But the core of my business is making classic pieces. So I would say that it's slow fashion, but it's ready to wear. It's that makes sense.
Does your customer include the Pawtucket woman who doesn't do summers somewhere else?
Absolutely. Even if you didn't go to Europe for summer, right? You're going to be here in Pawtucket for summer, right? There'll be barbecues, there'll be parties. I'm making clothes in mind that there will be an all-white party. She will need this white dress. There will be a poolside event. She will need a kimono. So I design with those events in my mind. And even when I advertise my clothes, I always say, Akosakwedu designs clothes that you love to wear, that you want to wear, and that you can wear. I always say that as a brand, I don't make bird species, outlandish things. I will not work with things like raffia. I'm making clothes that you spend your life in. So I think about the occasion before I design the dress, so that I design with the clients in my mind. So whether you are in Port Harcourt for summer or you're in Kenya, I have a dress for you because I have you in my mind as I design.
In explaining the reason there appears to be a shift to Nigerian-made fashion or African fashion right now, you described how that the woman in Houston probably doesn't want to go to Macy's to pick up something she will wear on Christmas, for example, because she doesn't want to buy that Zara dress that she probably see 10 other women wearing. Then again, ready to wear implies making in numbers also.
Yes.
So how is that different? Because if I buy an Okudu brand, for example, there are probably 10 other women who bought the same thing.
Yes, Dio. As I told you that we're not on the number level that you think that we're on. I told you that if Gucci is making 10 million copies of a t-shirt, the average Nigerian brand is making 1,000 copies of a t-shirt. So you can compare the spread of 1 million copies to 1,000 copies. So we're not there yet. Eventually, we will get there. But then that's why as we become more exclusive, we'll also become more expensive. So it will still won't be, so it won't be within the reach of everybody. So it still wouldn't be as, random as you think.
So the plan is not to, you talked about scalability a while ago. So are you saying you're putting the cap on the scalability level? Is there a ceiling?
That happens though. That happens. Hermes isn't trying to make a million bags for everybody. So I feel like that is also, that can be a business model. For making beautiful pieces, it's ready to wear, but there's a number cap. Once we've sold 10,000 copies, there won't be any more made. So that also adds to exclusivity. It makes it special, knowing that this brand will make this number of outfits and then it's sold out.
Do you ever have challenges with some clients who want, your designs to look a certain way for them?
I always say that the average Nigerian consumer is spoiled when it comes to clothing production. Even though we say that this is a ready-to-wear brand, when this Nigerian lady sends in her order, she'll tell you that, oh, I like this dress, but can you add sleeves to my own? That's a problem. Oh, I like this dress, but can you make my own a little longer? That's a problem. They're used to clothes being made for them. Like even when you say it's ready to wear, they still want you to alter the styles to suit their preference. So that will always be a problem because it's a cultural thing that we're so close for them.
How do you manage competition, especially with copycats? Now, the challenge, I suppose, that international big brands have to deal with is knockoffs, basically.
Yes.
But a Ralph Lauren logo is a Ralph Lauren logo, or a Tommy or Zara for that matter.
Yes.
But they may have to deal with knockoffs. And maybe it's not a big problem for them because when you're mass producing on that level, you probably meet up with the numbers you expect anyways, in spite of the knockoffs. But in your case, if you're making 100 of something and your designs are out there and you see there are persons who probably go online or find your design somewhere and then want to copy it as well. So how do you deal with that?
First of all, I would say that everywhere in the world, this is a problem. Like it or not, in the UK, in the US, and the rest of the world, right, there's always a problem of copycats and knockoffs, right? And then I always say that as soon as people start copying your brand, then you know that you've actually made it big, right? It's a big problem in the industry right now. So I noticed that what's happening now is that there's some very big Nigerian brands, right? You have Nigerian women going to China and telling them to copy these dresses for them. And then they bring it back to sell in the local shops in Nigeria. So I really don't know how we can solve that problem, but it's been an ongoing problem recently, right? But I feel like if people are copying Gucci and Prada, and then they can't stop it. How are we going to stop these people from copying us? Because I noticed that it's the same. That sometimes it's the same factories that make the original ones that still make the knockoffs. So I don't have the solution to that problem. But because people can say that intellectual property, you can get lawyers, you can fight. But then people you also hear things like there's nothing new under the sun. Nothing is original. You can't claim to own this design. So that is something that I need to get back to you on how we can solve this problem of copycats, because it's now a big problem.
So as a designer or as a brand, what is the trick if there is a trick, to getting your brand out there? Not just the clothes out there, but your brand. What is the marketing strategy? How do you get known as a brand?
So in fact, I feel like this is this is where my head is at right now. How to basically help with like brand exposure, right? So what I've been doing in the past 5 or so years is that I've been trying to work with influencers, right? Influencers in Port Harcourt, influencers in Lagos, right? You send them an email offering to send them free clothes to wear, just so that they can mention that, this is my piece, right? And I've done influencer marketing in the past 5 to 6 years, and it has really, really helped. It's good for visibility, it's good for sales. So like, I feel like when it comes to sales and marketing, it's a big sector. And then I also say that as a designer, I know how to design clothes. Doesn't mean that I really know how to market it, but then in the future, I would like to employ somebody just for marketing and sales, because I feel like that used to be my strong point too, but not anymore. So what I've done on my own is worked with influencers. But then if I found somebody for marketing and sales, I'm sure that they'll be able to do so much more than I can do.
Even though the Nigerian fashion is now turning towards ready to wear, as this entire conversation has suggested, and based on your business model as well. But you still say it's not fast fashion.
Yes.
Is fast fashion... Okay.
Let me explain fast fashion to you. Okay. Yes. Yeah. So fast fashion is... What I would consider fast fashion is if I went to China, I went to a factory in China, and I said, look at this simple black dress, make me 1 million copies. So it's a large MOQ. It's made for like maybe, I don't know, $2 per dress. I ship it to Nigeria and I sell that dress for 1,500. I will sell the 1 million copies pretty fast because it's very, very cheap, poorly made. I just want my money fast. And then the person that bought that dress for 1,500, I mean, you paid 1,500. What are you really expecting from a 1,500 dress? That's what I would consider fast fashion. It's poorly made, cheap, affordable, sold quickly. And then the wearer also, let's say for 3 months, and they don't care about it, they go and buy the next one. That is fast fashion.
You have some international brands that make fast fashion as well. Are they poorly made?
I would say that they are so poorly. I mean, so I wouldn't give it 100%. I would give it like a 50 or 60%. That's poorly made. If you buy a dress from Primark and it costs £20 or £15, you cannot wear that dress for more than 1 year, max 2 years. I don't think when you're buying a Ralph Lauren blazer, you want to wear it for 10 years, even pass it down to your son. I feel like that's what you expect from something that is well made. So fast fashion just means I'm wearing it for this season. I mean, I think, abroad, because they have seasons, right? Mm. I buy this dress just to wear it in the summer. I would wear it June, July, August, September, 4 months. It's cold in October. I'll fling it. I'll go and buy something else for winter. So I would say that fast fashion just means that you're wearing it for a short time frame. Therefore, you're not willing to spend too much on it. And then when I tell you that Nigerian brands aren't always fast fashion, I know that there are brands who operate on that level, right? But I would say that the bulk of the brands are doing specialty, so special ready to wear. There's a name for it. Mm. I don't remember the name right now, but it's basically a higher level of ready to wear. Let me put it that way. A brand like Michael Kors, brands like Tory Burch, they are not considered high fashion or anything special. They're considered like mid-level You see, it's mid-level. It's not up to Chanel and Gucci, but it's not below like Zara and H&M. Do you see? So it's that mid. I think they're called bridge. I think it's called bridge brands. Michael Kors, Tory Burch. Those brands are called bridge.
Let's talk about Zara.
So that's what I would say that Nigerian brands have two categories. You have the bridge brands and then you have the fast fashion brands. Because you have people who do streetwear, you have people who do if you're making a 10K dress, that's not expected to last too long. It's 10,000 naira.
So let's talk about even the Zaras of this world.
Yes.
And say you buy a Tommy t-shirt.
Yes.
And a Tommy t-shirt, for example, is what you'd likely find in several stores. And you might find somebody else wearing the same Tommy t-shirt at a party. Is that fast fashion?
That is fast fashion.
And is that poorly made?
That is
emphasis
fast fashion.
On poorly made.
So you see, poorly made is also relative. What you will consider poorly made, somebody else may not consider it poorly made. What qualities do people look for in well-made garments? First of all, it's the fabric. You hear people say that, I don't wear polyester. You see that. So now the fabric has already taken it to a different level. You hear people say, I only wear cashmere sweaters, right? It's the quality of the fabric, right? So now you have people, so maybe Ralph Lauren sweaters are like maybe $100, right? Because it's cashmere, right? But then maybe Gap is $20 because there's small wool, there's polyester. So the quality of the fabric as well would also affect the price point. You see, you can't compare so this one that was $20 can last maybe 50 washes, right? And then the one that was $100 can last maybe 100 washes. So yes.
What do you think? What's the future like for Nigerian ready-to-wear? What is the trend going towards? Are we turning towards fast fashion? Are we turning towards?
I would say it would always be a mix of both. There would always be custom dresses, and there will be bridge, and then there will be fast fashion. Because in every economy, there's rich, there's middle class, and there's average or below average, right? So there will always be people that would cater to every tax bracket, right? The people who do custom dresses will still cater to rich, middle, lower class. And so the people who do fast fashion as well or bridge, it will also. So I feel like as industry grows, there will be more custom tailoring. There will be way more ready to wear, and there will always be fast fashion. Because there's just different price points in the market. So people just need to find their level, buy what you can afford. But if you pay low, you can't expect it to last for too long.
Do you think we'll get to the point of mass production locally? I
hope we get to the point. I really, really hope. I hope and pray that we get to that point. Just because there's... I know that we don't have large factories here that can produce the numbers that we need. So you find people going to Turkey to go and produce, bringing it to Nigeria. That would always increase the cost. You have people going to China to go and produce and bring it. So that would always increase the cost. But if we can outsource production locally, that would bring down the cost of production, which would obviously be good for everybody, good for the market as well.
What advice would you give to anyone who is thinking to get into the ready-to-wear business in Nigeria?
The first thing I always tell people is understand the industry. If possible, intern. I know that this is something that people don't like to do here, but if possible, intern in the industry. Find a designer that you can work for a couple of years, because there's just nothing like getting behind the scenes experience, getting behind the scenes view of how things work. If you intern, you know if you can do this thing or not, as opposed to just going in and then learning on the job. So with internship, you see how it's done, and then you decide if it's something that you can do or not. So I say, understand it, learn, study, and then intern.
And then Nigerian ready-to-wear, does it always have to be exclusively Nigerian or African fabric and print?
Absolutely not. We use a lot of cotton. Cotton isn't always sourced in Nigeria. There's linen, there's denim, there's silk. So it's not just Nigerian prints. But I like this new trend of using Nigerian prints. So it has really, really helped the artisans who produce these adire fabrics in Abeokuta. I'm in Port Harcourt, but I source all my adire in Abeokuta. So the sheer volume of orders has really helped that industry. So I really hope that in the next couple of years, we can have locally sourced cotton, locally sourced linen. That would be great for the economy, wouldn't you say?
Yeah, I suppose so. But would they be able to compete with international brands? Because I think it's like rap music. When the Nigerian music industry was evolving, you had people doing rap. But, I mean, they did well,
yes.
But you can't do rap better than Nas will do rap.
True.
So, but look at the Nigerian music industry now with Afrobeats.
Yes.
It's exploded. So could it be the same thing with the fashion?
Well, so with the African prints, obviously, it has almost become our signature, right? Africans are expected to work with African prints, right? But let's not put ourselves in that box, right? I know that in Kano and Co, there's a cotton called Funtua cotton, right? Which is meant to be very, very good quality cotton. Things just need to be, improved over time. If we can make cotton in Kano, in the next 10 years, it should have evolved and gotten better. So we cannot be restricted to only making prints. We have to stretch ourselves and get into linen, get into cotton, get into silk. Things get better as we, grow them and improve them. So let's not put ourselves in the box that we can do way more than African prints.
Any final words?
Any final words? Anyway, this is Akwasakudu. Follow us on Instagram, shop the brand, get acquainted with the brand, and watch your life, get nicer, get more colorful, get more ladylike.
Right. And that's a wrap on this episode of Canvas in Niger-Delta Round. We'll discuss the ready-to-wear business with Akpos Okudu, creative director, owner, founder of the Akpos Okudu brand.
Thank you.
Thank you very much for your time.
Thanks for having me.
And thank you for watching with us and being a part of this episode as well. You can catch all our episodes, this one and other and even newer episodes as well on our various social media platforms to follow. Thanks for joining. This episode, as others, have been brought to you by Renaissance Africa Energy Company Limited. I'm Dayo Shakin, and bye for now.